I'm Norma Jean Leeper, and I'm going to do some poetry reading from my book, Norma Jean's Garden of Poetry. And I have to warn you, you really need to have a good sense of humor and maybe a little twisted one. Some of the poems in here are R-rated. I'm going to start at the beginning, and each time I do some, post some, it'll be a few more, but I'm going to go in order. There are serious poems, there are children's poems, there are sad poems, there are happy poems. There's poems of horror, and there's downright nasty, dirty poems. So, the beginning is limericks, odes, and epitaphs. We'll start with A Demented Guy. There once was a demented young guy who covered all his victims with lie. He watched as they bubbled. He really was troubled. He would wave at them saying, "Bye-bye." Anna McGill. Here lies Anna McGill. She would probably be here still. Being unable to pay, doctors turned her away. Her health insurance was nil. Cindy Moore. Here lies stripper Cindy Moore, a guy the gals once did adore. They shot her when she did her dance, 'cause a little weenie poked from her pants. Pantyhose. There once was a young lady named Claire, whose pantyhose would fill up with air. Whenever she tooted, it went undisputed. Her great talent was extremely rare. Uncle Jess. Here lies the body of Uncle Jess. His death was caused by PMS. His wife Mary was a bitchy nag. She up and shot 'em all on the rag. That wasn't nice. Sam McDuff. Here lies poor old Sam McDuff. He loved to sunbathe in the buff. He fell asleep, got crispy fried, and that's how poor old Sam died. This one is called Ode to My Tampons. Bet you never heard one of those before, huh? How I love my tampons, they give me confidence. Why one would use a maxi pad just doesn't make any sense. You see, with my tampons, I can do things that are cool. Best of all, it means I can go swimming in my pool. I can't do that with maxi pads, so their praises I do sing. Tampons give me freedom to do most anything. That's why I love my tampons with all my heart and soul. Besides, a maxi pad can't ever be flushed down the bowl. Because tampons are smaller, they're so much more discreet. And when you're wearing one, your stuff stays nice and neat. This is Uncle Rick. Here lies Uncle Rick. Had a cold, was mighty sick. Couldn't stop his runny nose. When it dripped onto his sister's clothes, she strangled him with her pantyhose. Tom McGee. Here lies old Tom McGee, a stiffer man you'll never see. While on vacation in Niagara, he overdosed on his Viagra. What a way to go. Wide coverage. There was an old woman named Leah who suffered from bad diarrhea. She let out a big fart that was not very smart. She shot crap from here to Korea. I'm going to read two more, and then the next ones will continue with number 2. This one is called Ode to Viagra. This is an ode to Viagra, today's new miracle pill. If you can't cha-cha without it, just take one and you surely will. It treats erectile dysfunction, makes old men feel young once more. Take the problem out of your hands, just go to the nearest drugstore. Little soldier will stand at attention. Warn your partner to be on guard. Don't expect things to be easy. I promise you, it will be hard. You could call them zombie pills. I guess you could call them zombie pills. Every word I've said is true. Just try one and you will see. Oh, I messed that one up. You would call them zombie pills. Every word is true I've said. Just try one once and you will see they really can raise the dead. Hey, I'm not perfect. Okay, the last one for today. The Old Man Lied. claimed claimed in bed was far from boring. The young man found him adoring. She put on her teddy, but he wasn't ready. Instead, he was sleeping and snoring. And we will continue the next time with Ode to My Underwear. Some of these get really, actually, as we go on, you know what? I'm going to finish this one little section, Odes and Limericks. Ode to My Underwear. This is an ode to my underwear. Without it, my ass would be bare. It keeps my pants out of my crack. I always bring extras when I pack, 'cause I never know if I'll cough and pee. Sometimes that does happen to me. Mom said if I have an accident, best to have clean ones with no funky scent. They come in all styles, even a thong. I tried a pair once, didn't wear them very long. It felt like I was being sawed in half. Seeing myself in them, I had to laugh. It certainly was not a treat for your eyes, and definitely wouldn't make any weenie rise. So here's to my undies and the great job they do in keeping things covered so others can't view. Poor old Uncle Bart. Here lies poor old Uncle Bart. He was filled with gas and could not fart. And when he finally did, it stopped his heart and blew the rest of him apart. Jonathan Rhys. Here lies Chef Jonathan Rhys. He fell into a vat of grease. He couldn't get out, although he tried. When they removed his body, he was crispy fried. Pete. There once was a trusting guy named Pete who found out his girlfriend would cheat. Now he no longer dates, instead he masturbates. A more faithful hand you'll never meet. Poor Maria. There once was a girl named Maria who screwed men all over Korea until she found a sore that she couldn't ignore. The doc said it was gonorrhea. Uncle Bob. Here lies Uncle Bob. He was a hitman for the mob. I watched the story on the news, found him dead wearing cement shoes. They fished his body from the lake. He crossed his boss. Big mistake. Grady. There once was a fellow named Grady who wanted to be a fine lady. He grew his hair long and tucked in his schlong and told people his name was Katie. One day while wearing a bikini, suddenly out fell his weenie. It wasn't very long, especially for a dong. Some say it was really quite teeny. He liked being called Miss, not Mister. Told everyone he was his own sister. It got so confusing, it was quite amusing, till one horny fellow kissed her. Some people would say it was fate. The day he got asked on a date, he dressed up that night. It wasn't quite right, hurrying so not to be late. The evening was going quite well. They hit it right off like a bell. They were hot and steamy. It was all quite dreamy. Then the night ended in hell. Poor Katie's man plied her with gin, took her to a quaint little inn. Hands between Katie's thighs gave him quite a surprise, and he didn't know where to begin. Next came a strange turn of events, and none of it made any sense. It seems Katie's stud was really a dud. Things suddenly became quite intense. Katie realized her man was no catch, discovering he had a snatch. They jumped out of bed, both faces turned red, realizing they'd met their match. Agreed, false advertising's not smart, not the way for a romance to start. And so they parted as friends, and now my story ends, each left with a broken heart. Oh, how touching. This one is called Oh No. There once was an old fellow named Bart who found lovemaking bad for his heart. It turned out to be gas shooting out of his ass. Every time he got laid, he would fart. Is it raining? There once was a young fellow named Kent who discovered his pecker was bent. It turned up to the sky, and he didn't know why. When peeing, he required a tent. And the last one for today's reading is Ode to My Shower Massage. How I love my water pick. It makes me nice and clean. Gets into all the crevices and places in between. Your stream is sometimes gentle, like a lover's arms might be. Other times you pulsate as you gently massage me. Sometimes I stop and wonder, do I really need a man? You do your job so well, I think I'll name you Dan. Oh, Dan, your magic fingers dance across my tit, pulsate down my body to my hot and throbbing slit. Water pick, oh water pick, how I love you so. I don't care what others say, I'll never let you go. Be sure to come back for poetry reading number 2, where we start with the humor section. Bye for now. I'm Norma Jean, reading Norma Jean's Garden of Poetry.